Hey everybody, I'm going to do a video about how to fight scammers on eBay. This is for sellers because the buyers have lots of ways to fight against scams where eBay sellers do not. I've been debating on whether to do this video, but I'm going to do it. So here's some eBay scams as if you're selling things. Let me get a pointer. So the first one here, a buyer could return a broken item or an empty box or not the same item that you sent them. So if a buyer does this, you have to go through eBay and plead your case. And most of the time, eBay will side with the buyer and screw the seller over. So you will get hardly any help from eBay with this. Another scam is a buyer will say that the item was not delivered and wants a refund even though the tracking shows that it was delivered. Once again, you have to go to eBay and prove that it was delivered and hope eBay will side with you. Which, it's like, eBay is not seller friendly. They are only buyer friendly. They only care about money for themselves. They're one of the worst companies out there. But the trouble is we're forced to use them because everybody goes there. The third one is a buyer does an item not as described return refund. This is very common. Even though if you're selling things and you say that I don't take returns, all the buyer has to do is say that it's not as described and eBay will allow them to do a return. And here's another thing too, is if you sell something and a buyer says he's going to return anything, always have them return it. Even though it costs you some postage money, always have them do a return, okay? Because sometimes they just might not want it and you actually get the item back. So never say you don't want the item back. Always get the item back, and that way at least you have the item and then now you're in more of a control situation. But like I said, if they send you an empty box, a broken item, excuse me, or something that's not even what you sent them something expensive, they can send you a rock. So, you're not going to, rock's not worth anything. So, but at least you tried. And the last one is a buyer does a credit card chargeback. And what that means is they will go and use their credit card to get their money back, and the credit card company will grab that money back from eBay. So these are all ways people will scam you during the process of their scam, where they want the item that you sent them, but they don't want to pay for it. And if you think eBay is going to help you, they're not. I've been selling since eBay's began, and eBay was good back in the days, but now it's terrible. And I've not run into anything bad, and I've sold thousands of things on eBay. Each year, I do six figures, somewhere between $100,000 to $200,000 of sales. And some of it's on eBay. Most of it is outside of eBay because I don't trust eBay to assist me with anything. So I sell almost all my stuff outside of eBay. People will say, oh, you sell on eBay, you get all these protections. No, you don't. Only if you're a buyer. So you're probably wondering, what the heck are you going to tell me that's going to help me, right? So the best way to fight against this, and I will show you here. Here's my list, okay? And I'll get to the secret, which is number 3. The first thing you must do is you must have at least 2 eBay accounts. Okay? 2 eBay accounts, which will have a different name and different address and different social security number. That could be like friends or family. I have multiple eBay accounts. I actually have 3 eBay accounts. One for me, one for my girlfriend that I have control over, and one for my daughter who's over 18. Okay? So I've got that taken care of. And then here's a big one. You only want to sell to buyers with a seller account. If they don't have a seller account, just cancel the order. They have to have items listed on eBay. And then I'll get to number 3. So you're saying to yourself, well, gosh, if I'm only going to sell to people on eBay that have items for sale, that's going to not be very many people. And yeah, you're right. So here's your choice. Do you sell to just anybody and then you're going to run into the scammers, or do you sell to people that are selling on eBay? I almost bet 100% of the time, if you sell to somebody that's actually selling on eBay, you're not going to run into a scammer. Okay? So that's your choice. If you sell to people that have items listed on eBay, you're not going to run into a scammer. And if you do run into a scammer, guess what? You got stuff that you can do. And that brings me to number 3. Number 3 is you must be willing to fight fire with fire. And here's what you do. You can buy one of their items, and then you can go from there. And what I mean by that is you can figure it out. You can do exactly the same thing that they just did to you. Okay? And now you have leverage. So there's more variables to this whole puzzle. I just can't go over everything. For instance, if you sell something really inexpensive, like say you sell calculators that are $10. It's not really worth it to worry about that, right? But say you sell a box of Team Up, which the current price on Team Up right now is anywhere between $4,000 to $5,000 for this box. That's a different story. I know, me personally, I don't want to sell anything expensive off of eBay if it's in the categories that are some of the worst categories to sell in. Like, for instance, sports cards, magic cards, Pokemon. Those are people want everything and they don't have the money, so they resort to scamming. They want something for $1,000 and they don't want to pay for it. Now, other things I work in the medical community and there's like medical equipment. That stuff has a very low scam rate to it. Okay? So you're pretty much covered for that. And like I was saying about the dollar value, if something is cheap, like if you want to sell a calculator, you don't have to worry about it. You're out a couple bucks, okay? But if you're selling something that's worth thousands of dollars, like some of this Pokemon stuff here, that's a different story. So it's up to you to figure out what you want to sell, what you want to put into those categories. And like I said, I'm not going to go on and on, but that's how you fight people. Okay? I've never had to do this, but if I have to do it, I've got the tools to do it with. So anyway, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and put in the comments if you've ever ran into scammers. Let me know your stories, and let me know what you think about this. I'd like to actually see somebody do one of these things to a scammer and see how it works out, and put in the comments and let me know. Anyway, this is my public service announcement to people who sell on eBay. You can thank me later. Bye.